I don't know if you've heard, but recently there's this new term floating around called vibe marketing. Even I, as a digital marketer, have no idea what that means. So, like any other human being nowadays, I went to ChatGPT to search what vibe marketing really means. The response from ChatGPT was quite funny though. Let me just pull it up. So I asked ChatGPT, what is vibe marketing? According to ChatGPT, vibe marketing is a relatively new and informal term used to describe a type of marketing that focuses on creating a feeling, mood, or emotional atmosphere around your brand or product rather than directly selling features or benefits. It's more about how your brand feels more than what it does. Yeah, I mean, this is my fault as well. I kind of forgot that large language models and chatbots like ChatGPT are only trained up to a certain period, which is somewhere in 2024. So, given that vibe marketing is a really new term, ChatGPT is unable to tell me what it is. But this is clearly a very good case study on how LLMs and chatbots, they hallucinate. They won't tell you that I don't know, right? They will kind of find something. And vibe marketing, yeah, you're basically marketing vibes. So, yeah, this is a logically correct answer from AI. But if we were to look a bit deeper as to what it means today, right, so there were a few things that I found out. First of all, vibe marketing really combines two different elements together. The first one is the power of AI. Second is data. What this means is that you are able to automate and optimize your marketing campaigns in real time. So that is where the term vibe marketing really comes from. In terms of the first component, which is the AI part, you are leveraging AI tools to create and test, optimize all your marketing. You're doing it a lot faster than what it traditionally was. And you want to let humans focus on the messaging part, the tone, and all the emotional hooks, the part that kind of AI still can't do, and I don't think they will be able to do that. But anyway, the goal of vibe marketing is to do rapid experimentation with campaign formats, visuals, and content. Yeah, it's just pumping out a lot of marketing materials, whether it's visuals, content for social media, whether it's advertising, because the cost of producing all of these things has gone down so massively, we can then use a more growth mindset. Let's say you are saving 10 times the resources. Instead of just enjoying the savings, we are going to 10x the outputs instead. So in that sense, you can test and reiterate your marketing campaign so much faster in that sense. So that is basically the definition of what vibe marketing is. So does it really need a new name called vibe marketing? I don't know. I don't think so, because every single task has been impacted by AI, especially in late 2024 and right now in 2025. So is everything just going to be vibe, whatever, like insert your industry, vibe coding, vibe marketing, vibe designing, vibe writing? I don't know. I just don't see why there's a need for this new term. But anyways, since we are on the topic of vibe marketing, it's actually really interesting to see how people are taking a more hybrid approach, or they're trying to synergize between AI and what it can do and just doubling down on human creativity. So if you're a marketer like me, the number one thing that you have probably used AI for is probably ChatGPT. If it's not ChatGPT, it's probably another AI chatbot. Can be Anthropic, Claude, can be Perplexity, can be Gemini, or even DeepSeek, so on and so forth. There are quite a few options out there. But the number one thing that I feel really improved my workflow or my team's workflow when it comes to digital marketing is to create visuals. I'm going to be very honest, we have yet to use any AI generated visuals as is. The data is being trained from a model, right? And the model gets data from the past. So if we are doing visuals and it gets it from the past, somewhere, somehow, it might contain some element of, I don't know, a resemblance or something that belongs to another artist or another designer. So that's the part that we don't want to get into legal trouble for. So how we use AI is we use the image generation or video generation to create drafts, to create outlines, or if we are writing stuff or storyboarding, we use it to do things like produce variations of images or to see if a brand identity works or not. We use it to create mockups. So AI really helps us to visualize, and it helps to convince people as well, whether we are convincing our own management, whether we are convincing clients. It's just a lot easier when you can really quickly get your ideas out into something that resembles 50 to 70% almost, right? So we can use that to reiterate, and it really saves us a lot of money and a lot of headaches because we don't have to go through the process of creating it ourselves. And then if they don't like it, oh, we have to revise it, we have to work on it, we have to do this entire workshop discussion thing. So yeah, number one thing is really speed in terms of creating visuals. Another way that we have done vibe marketing is in analyzing our competitors or references that we like. AI is actually really smart where you can just drop visuals or drop text and ask it to analyze parts of it for you. Whether you want to ask it to extract a hook or whether it might be like, tell me why this is good or this is not good. You can ask it to critique as a content creator, as a CMO, as whatever role you want to assign to it. Really, really useful to involve AI nowadays. And we are able to quickly produce drafts and just move on to the execution phases. The next thing that vibe marketing really touches on is just responding to the market really quickly. So I think this is something that us as marketers really struggle with in the past. So we have to plan and execute a campaign from start to end. And then only at the end, we are able to collect the data to really understand what should we tweak. I mean, it's not that we don't collect data throughout the entire campaign. We also do that, but it's not advisable to judge a campaign's effectiveness before it is over. Because there are things like scarcity or even like limited time offers, things of those nature. They usually tend to get more traction and conversion towards the end of that period. So we have to run the entire campaign and then we get to analyze the data to know what is working today, what is not working today. But if we implement vibe marketing, right, we use AI to execute instead of running the entire campaign, which takes weeks or even months. We can actually do that in days. If it's a small campaign, it'll probably take days. But if it's a larger campaign, you are really shortening it to maybe a couple of weeks, and you are able to tell whether the market likes it, whether the marketing message works, the visuals work, the trends. So we are cutting everything down. And since the cost per campaign should also go down technically, you can then run the second version of the same offers, the same campaigns. So that form of adaptability, the ability to really test different variations, I think that is, to me, the biggest benefit that I can see from vibe marketing. It just makes so much sense. It makes everything better. For my own case, what I have always done is I make offers in my email newsletters, right? Because we are able to do it relatively quickly, I make a minimum of one offer every single day. Because of that speed and limiting the promotional period to 1 to 2 weeks only at the maximum, that has drastically helped me to identify or at least get a sense of what is going on in the market, right? Without having to take years of data to figure something out. A very good example for this is that for my products, I realized that, January and February, they kind of respond a little bit better, right? These are like the stronger months for me. But I can start to feel things slow down towards the second half of March and the early parts of April. Because every campaign runs 1 to 2 weeks with new offers. So April technically should have a different offer compared to back when it was January and February. But because of vibe marketing, I'm able to find this out relatively early. So I found this out in early April. So now it is late April when I'm recording this video. I can then plan and prepare to shift things around for May's offers. I hope you guys can see how it works in real life. It's really from the quantity, getting that gut feeling or looking at the data, making your own hypothesis, you can quickly reiterate things. So that is for me as like a solopreneur or a small business owner, but if let's say you are looking at companies, let's say you run a sizable business, right? How I have seen companies use vibe marketing to test all of these things is to create a lot of content at one shot. So we are talking about bulk creation here. It can be the visuals, let's say for Instagram posts. You can pre-plan and bulk create for like 15 days at a time. Sometimes even 30 days. It really depends on what your campaign is and what you are trying to test out. Clients or companies use like AI marketing agents to do so that they can test multiple campaigns at once in just a very short cycle of time. So vibe marketing really helps in terms of pushing out your offers out there to see what hits, what miss, and you can just reiterate really quickly from there, right? So speed is the name of the game. Cost of production will also fall drastically, but I think the biggest benefit of all is empowerment. We are empowering not only marketers but also people who cannot afford marketing resources, right? Not everyone has a marketing team. AI or vibe marketing has really empowered everyone to be able to participate, and all humans, we can focus a lot more on strategic thinking, on creative direction, right, rather than the manual execution part. So there really is no need for a huge marketing team anymore. You can do just as much as an agency with a small marketing team as long as you're using the right tools. So let's talk a bit more about the AI tools part, right? And one thing that I feel a lot of people are actually not fully aware of is that most of the AI tools out there are actually what we call AI wrappers. So what AI wrappers mean is, say, Windows, right? Our computers run on Windows, or most of our computers run on Windows, but we use Windows on a PC or our notebooks, our laptops, even our mobile phones, tablets, and all of those devices. So how we can look at Windows is that that is the AI. And the device is like the wrapper. When we are looking at wrappers, it really means that the UI or the interface that you are experiencing is the wrapper part. That's the front part that you see. But the engine that runs behind it is just the AI that we have access to. It can be Gemini, it can be ChatGPT, it can be Llama, it can be anything as long as we connect to it. On the front, it's the AI wrapper. On the back, it's wrapping around the AI, basically. I hope that kind of explains it. And so the reason why I think that is something that is important to take note of is that every chatbot or every LLM that you use, you probably have a preference. So you can think about it like using ChatGPT versus using Grok or using Gemini. If you have used all of these three, you probably be like, oh, I lean towards, say, Gemini. You use Gemini on a regular basis. You log in with your Google account. You might even pay for a Gemini Plus account. Okay? But there are AI wrappers out there who connect with ChatGPT, for example. Okay? And because it connects with ChatGPT, the outputs that you are getting are all generated by ChatGPT. It is not generated by Gemini. So if you were to carry out a similar task, right, to get a similar output using an AI wrapper versus using Gemini straight away, the outputs or the conclusions that you reach might not be the same. So I think that is just important to understand and be aware of. The second thing is also whichever LLM that you use, whatever content that you give to it will be used to train the AI model. At the start of the video, I explained that AI models are usually trained up to a certain time frame. So for ChatGPT's case, it was somewhere in 2024. So what is going on between 2024 and the date right now is that they are in the process of data collection. So there is a reason why there is a free version of ChatGPT and all the other LLMs. And they're trying to get the data from you so that they understand, oh, this is how people prompt. So they're going to take that, they're going to clean it. So data engineers, data scientists, and data analysts, this is kind of their job. They have to clean it up. They have to then feed it back into the model to train it. And then that will serve as the next update. Probably in 2026, we should see an update for 2025. So that is the process that it keeps going through. So with that being said, I think it's important for you to be aware of what you are also feeding into the LLM. I don't know how many people have generated the Ghibli image, the Ghibli style images. You have actually fed the model with your own photo or the photos of your kids, your family, your friends. It is going to train the model, unfortunately or fortunately. So yeah, reading up on the release notes of all of these models is actually quite important because they won't explicitly tell you like, hey, we are gonna take your face and we're gonna train all these things. Let's say you have uploaded your photos into ChatGPT and then somebody builds an AI tool that is a wrapper around ChatGPT to generate photos of faces. There is a small chance that your face might appear. I mean, we don't know how that extraction works exactly because every time you prompt it, the outcome is different. But yeah, just be more aware, I guess. I mean, imagining that, I thought it was quite funny, but also quite creepy in that sense. Here are some examples to help you start thinking about vibe marketing. How can you apply it immediately to your own team or to your own marketing workflow? So a small example of mine is that I write one newsletter a day. So what I do is I think of the topic that I want to write about, and I just grab my notes app in my phone. Right? And while I'm having my morning coffee, that is when I will start writing. But I don't actually write in full sentences because it's going to take me a very long time. Very poorly written. It's not even in full sentences. There are typos here and there. I just quickly jot down in my notes app. So I feed it in the ChatGPT. We clean that up. We finalize that newsletter for the email. And then what it does for me is that it breaks it down into a carousel post. Right? It doesn't create the carousel, but it at least breaks it down into content for the middle 8 slides. Right? The first slide is the hook or the title, and the last slide is the CTA. So it breaks down everything else from slide 2 to slide 8 for more. So I have all the outputs for the carousels. And what I do from there is I get the outputs, I upload it into Canva. Right? Because for Canva, I can actually bulk create carousels from a templated design. And once I have the templated design, if I want to change the design, that is when I use a design tool. So my design tool of choice is Figma. So yeah, that is how I have incorporated AI into my workflow. So it's not super complicated. It's not like an AI agent, agentic, agentic workflows. Or I feel that I don't need to go into that level yet. I just need some help from AI. A lot of it is still very foundational. It's still about the core newsletter that you've gotten. And for it to split into carousels, you need to have the core foundation of what a good carousel is. What makes a good hook? What makes a good CTA? How do you split up the rest of the content from there? Do you need to change any wordings? So these are all the things that we have to prompt the AI. And so I feel that that entire process has saved me, I don't know how much time, probably an insane amount of time. I should probably time myself next time. Yeah, I've just said the word time like 3, 4 times. Okay. But anyway, that is just one small example that anyone can start doing. We don't have to think too deeply into, wow, all the tools out there, what can I do, blah, blah, blah. I think just take it slow and use the basic version first, which is the LLMs or the chatbots first. And in terms of which chatbot you should use, or maybe you might want to just get a pro subscription, it really depends on you. I have been using ChatGPT since it was released. And the only reason why I haven't switched is because I haven't really found a reason to switch. But I know a lot of people who prefer to use Claude. And Claude is by Anthropic. It's a totally separate company from OpenAI and ChatGPT. And there are also people who actually use Gemini because it is linked to the Google search engine or even YouTube. So it really depends on what you are looking to do with the tool and on your preferences as well, because all the UI is different anyways, right? So most importantly, the data that they are training the models on is also different. So when you are prompting something on ChatGPT, you can take the same prompt and run it on Claude, on all the other like Gemini and stuff like that. You will see how drastically different the style of output is. That is number one. The second thing that you will see that is different is the structure, the message that it is pushing you towards, and also the answers that it is giving you. It depends on what you're using it for as well. At the end of the day, I think prompt engineering, like knowing how to prompt it to get the best outcome that you want, or at least the closest to what you are looking for, that is the most important part. Even though all of these chatbots, they run on natural language programming, it can understand the human lingo, whether you are speaking in like broken grammar, vocab, you have typos, no punctuation, with punctuation, it is still able to figure whatever you're trying to say because it runs on NLP. Still, the way you prompt it can severely sway the answers. Right? So that is where some people struggle with actually reducing their time using AI, and there are people who are just really quick when they're using AI. Above all else, it is still not able to work silo. You still need a human to be in the loop to check through the answers, to trigger the processes, unless you are doing AI agents, which is a completely different conversation altogether. But yeah, always check through your work, especially if you are new to the whole vibe marketing scene. You don't want to severely automate everything. Yeah, because there have been a lot of brands that are affected because of AI generated outputs. To keep up with whatever is going on in marketing, it is important to adopt AI tools to focus more on the emotional engagement side, because for sure the quantity of content is going to 10x, 100x in the next couple of years. And you just be open to agility, be open to invest in trainings as well, and to monitor all the performance of everything that you're doing. So remember to use technology to amplify, but not replace the emotional storytelling part, because that is going to be the most relevant thing, especially with AI generated content. And yeah, that is my take on vibe marketing. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, let's see who has the best vibes.